Hi everyone, welcome to Startup Recon. This is our long interview with Xavier, who's the co-founder and CEO of Nasekomo. Would you tell me a little bit more about your kind of motivations for founding Nasekomo and how your previous businesses helped in this venture?
Sure. I have a long career as an entrepreneur, and I've been in quite successful business before. And back in 2017, I sold my previous business, which was in the business process outsourcing industry. And at this stage, I decided that I should be looking for something else to do in my life, and I wanted to do something linked to the sustainability. And I have 3 young kids, so I think it's good to prepare something for the future. And so by searching a lot, and reading a lot of documents and looking at what other companies were doing, I bumped into a few articles about a couple of companies in France starting business into rearing insects. So that intrigued me a lot, and I started to read a lot about why would a company look at real insect, why they're raising so much money for that. And after a couple of months reading that, I said, well, there may be some opportunity here to do a business and to do a sustainable business. And that's when I went to look for a partner that would understand about insects, which was not my case. And I spoke to a friend of mine called Marc Bollard. He's a biologist. He happened to live in the same city as I am, Sofia. And Marc didn't know nothing about insects, but he had been involved in animal growing for 20 years. And he started to look into the matter, read a lot on scientific papers, documentation, regulation. And after a couple of months, we decided that, there was an opportunity to do the business. So we spent about 3 months to try to do a business plan, further research, design the business model. And then we said, okay, let's go.
And what is your business model?
It's a tough question because it's a new industry, so everybody is trying to find their own business model in this industry. I would say today the business model is quite simple. What we are doing is upscaling agro waste, organic agro waste, into insect protein and other insect products with high value. So what we do is that we collect this agro waste from breweries, for example, or other cereal transformer industries. And these agro waste are given to our small insect or insect larvae to grow on it. Of course, it's more complex than that because there's lots of nutritional analysis to be done. There's a technology around that. And after a certain period of time, we have a final product, which is the insect larvae, the black soldier-fly larvae. This black soldier-fly larvae is dried and then pressed, and then you extract 2 main products. One is called insect protein, the other the insect oil. The insect protein is used as a replacement for the fish meal, small anchovy fish that you collect from Peru and you give to feed other fish. And the insect oil is a replacement to other oil like the palm oil, for example. So these 2 products are very sustainable element in them, and they are from one side very good in terms of functionality, and the other side very good in terms of reducing the footprint on the planet. So that's what we're doing. So the business model today is easy. It's collect something, upcycle, and sell. And the customer that we sell to would be animal feed producers, mainly people producing pet food, people producing food for fish, or for in the future for poultry, pigs, etc.
Was the decision to base yourself in Bulgaria a conscious one? Is there any benefits to the climate that's in that country, or would you be able to recreate this anywhere?
So I was living in Bulgaria. I've been living in Bulgaria for many years, and I quite like the country and the people, and I feel comfortable here. My partner, Mark, as well, is living here. So we decided to start the business where we're living. It's make our life easier. Turns out that was a good decision for a number of reasons. The first one is that the cost base of our business, which will become important in the future, is lower in Bulgaria than in other countries. There's like 3 elements on cost which is lower. One is labor cost. It's not our major cost because we're trying to automate everything, but still it's important. The second is energy cost. Our production consumes some energy, and so it's important to have access to lower energy cost. And the third one, which is the most important today, is the cost of our raw material supply. So when I said that we collect co-products from the agro industry, these co-products do not come for free. You have to pay for them, and they're usually used in the agriculture by to feed other animals directly, like this, like cows or pigs, etc. But the value at which they are sold depends pretty much to the location where they are sold, and it's product which is very wet, which are usually not moved around. So what we found out is that in countries where the agriculture and the animal growing industry is strong, the cost of this product is very high. In places where this industry is very small, which is the case for Bulgaria, then the cost of this product is very low. So today we have a very significant cost advantage on the raw materials compared to competition in Western Europe, for example.
Do you currently supply to European kind of farmers only, or do you supply all over the world?
So today it's early stage, and our production capacity is not enough to supply the world, not yet. But what we are doing is we are supplying to European companies, so pet food companies today, and poultry manufacturers, poultry feed manufacturer, aquafeed companies, and our main target is the EU. So Bulgaria is part of the EU, so that facilitates the custom processes and the authorization, etc. But what I see today that we are approached by companies from all over the world that are interested into doing something similar to us. So most of these people would ask for, can we provide technological transfer? Can we do a franchise model? Can we build a factory next to their place? And talk about company, it goes from Japan to Kenya to Peru to the US. So it's really, really, really everywhere. So the positive things out of that, you can see that more and more people on this planet are concerned about sustainability. And they say, okay, what you're doing is good because you're taking some kind of a waste and transforming it into high value products. So you're fixing a lot of problems on this planet. The waste emits methanes, so that's bad for the planet. More and more people need more and more food, and we are wasting more and more food, so that doesn't make sense. And basically all the resources used today to produce agricultural products are completely overused. Similar for the fishing industry, the more and more fish now comes from the aquaculture, about 60% worldwide. But to feed this fish, you go and collect other fish in the sea. So you don't solve the problem of fishing stocks disappearing from the sea because you go and pick fish and give them to the other one which are in the aquaculture ponds. So insects are a very good solution here because on the one hand they can recycle all this waste, and it doesn't take much with taking into account the fast growth of the insect to recycle all the waste on the planet, basically. And on the other hand, they can be used as a replacement for many other non-sustainable products in the animal feeding industry.
And I know in some parts of Asia, insect eating for humans is also a thing. Are you looking to expand into that market? And obviously, humans eating meat produce a lot of waste, and a lot of farming is obviously done for human consumption. So are you looking to target that market next?
So definitely yes, but not now. As you mentioned, there's about 2 billion people on the planet that use and eat insect on a daily basis, mainly in Asia, but also in Africa and South America. The European and obviously the Western-minded people are very far away from that. So I think today the market is mostly in the animal feed industry, and you'll be eating insect without knowing it at some point. And it's basically giving insect to a fish or to poultry is going back to nature, because the poultry in the nature, they eat insect, they don't eat soya. I never know about soya before. So really, we are focusing on back to nature and back to natural feed for all these animals, and feeding humans with insects. Maybe not natural in Europe, but maybe it will come in the later stage. And I think this will happen more through using, for example, insect flour that you can use, in any kind of cookies, etc. And insect flours has, I think, a very high protein content, lots of very good properties in terms of improving gut health for animals. So should be the same for human, I guess. And that will come with time. Yeah.
Obviously, this is quite a new kind of field, especially in the European market. What kind of challenges did you face with the production and marketing of Nasekomo, or any rewards that you would like to mention?
So in terms of challenges, many challenges. But the good things about it, it's keeping you awake at night and thinking that you're doing something interesting in your life. So challenging, I would say, would start on the technological part. So as I mentioned, it's a pretty new industry, and insect farming at scale is not an easy thing. So looking after insect in your backyard, that's fine, but producing 10 billions of insects a day is a different story. So this is, a very big challenge, and we've been working the last 2 years, investing millions of euros in developing specific technology for that. And now we made a lot of progress, and we're already patenting a number of these technologies. So I wouldn't say it's done deal, but we're in the right direction and into solving these kind of issues. Second type of issues will be regulatory issues and adoption, and I would say they work together. So we are a member of the IPIF, which is the lobby group for the insect industry in Europe. And the IPIF is pushing for the adoption of insect protein as an ingredient into animal feed in the European markets. And so in 2017, the first success was the adoption of the insect protein as an ingredient for the aquaculture and the pet food industry. And that's where we started, because we saw that it's a good opening and there will be a potential market. Now we're waiting for the next stage, which will be the opening of the poultry and the pig feed market, which are huge as well. And we expect that to arrive sometime next year. And really having the regulation work in the right direction, then we'll drag the market. And we see more and more industrials looking at insect protein as a valuable ingredient. The biggest market potential are in the aquaculture, and the aquaculture industry today has been identified the biggest potential market. Challenge we see there is that the cost of production of insect protein is still higher than the cost of production of the fish meal, which is supposed to be replaced. And so people are saying, okay, we are ready to use insect meal because all the studies have shown that it's positive for the fish and that there's no impact on the human nutrition afterwards, etc. But if the cost is twice the price of the cost of what we're using today, that will make the cost of the fish twice as expensive as it is today, and nobody will buy it. This will not work. And so we're back to square one in technology, building the right technology so we can decrease the cost of production and be competitive with product that will be replacing at some point.
And I know you said that you're not particularly skilled in biology and you're more on the business side, but would you like to talk a little bit more about the technology behind the production of this agricultural food?
Yeah, well, what we developed in terms of technology, I would call it's what we call robotized vertical farming. So you heard about the vertical farming for plants, for example, and which is the idea to plant some farms close to cities, so we have all year round plants which are produced. What we are looking at doing is the same with insects. So you have we develop technology so you can have very easily a small, not a small, but a mid-size insect producing plant close by to a location where you've got the waste streams. And this technology works with robots, so you don't need to have humans around, or not too many of them. And of course, we are now adding IoT on that and artificial intelligence as well to measure lots of data, analyze, and make it more and more performing with time.
What's the kind of future roadmap for Nasekomo? Is there any highlights that you're looking to, do in the next couple of years?
Many things. We are a very ambitious company. What we're planning to do now, that in terms of our development stage, so far we've built what we call an industrial demonstrator, which allows us to produce a few hundred tons of insect protein on a yearly basis. The next stage now is to build our first commercial plant. So it's quite a significant investment, and we are starting to do a fundraising, and we're looking at about 15 million euro fundraise to be done in the next few months for that purpose.
Well, thank you very much, Xavier, and I'm really looking forward to what Nasekomo has to offer, and hopefully people will come around to the idea of using insects in their food one day as well, especially the European market. But yeah, thank you again, and if you guys would like to find out anything about Nasekomo or Xavier himself, then the links will be down in the description. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next time.